What's going on, Jab Talk Nation? It's your boy Ozeal. Welcome to the coolest boxing YouTube channel, Jab Talk. This is the place where we jab about boxing with boxing enthusiasts, passionate fans like yourself. Welcome. Make sure you hit subscribe to the YouTube channel. Show some love to this up and comer. I feel like I'm like top 20 right now. I'm trying to get up to the top 10, y'all. Maybe not top 20. Maybe, I'm on the come up. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Okay. I'm trying to get to the top 10. All right. I'm trying to contend with all the top boxing YouTube channels for boxing. I know there's a few out there. Big fan of. Shout out to all the YouTubers out there promoting and boxing and creating a lot of great content for us boxing fans. I'm a fan as well, and also content creator. And this is my contribution to this passionate sport, the gentleman's sport, the sweet science. Yeah, this is what I want to do. This is my little dent in the boxing universe. So I appreciate you checking it out and showing love and support. All right, in this video, I'm going to talk about a little bit more about this big fight coming up. Finally. Finally. I was wondering when this was going to happen. When I got excited, I posted a short when the announcement was made by Canelo on Instagram. And I remember when I saw the announcement, like I think it was the day of, right? Or the day before, the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight announcement. Major announcement, right? I was surprised. I think I was a bit shocked. You never believe things now these days when it comes to the boxing rumors. But when I saw that was legit, I was like, wow, this is a pretty big fight. This is a big test for Jake Paul. Hey, listen, regardless of what you think about Jake Paul, I'm a boxing purist at heart. I'm not a big fan of the YouTube community jumping into this sport. But remember, he's technically, I think he's fought like one boxer. It's entertainment, it's entertainment. But now he is fighting a legit former iconic champion in the Iron, Mike Tyson. Although Mike Tyson's going to be 57. Apparently, he's going to be 58 the day of the event, and so he's an older man, definitely way past his prime. And I mean, I'll talk about that fight a bit, even though. I have my own reservations when it comes to this type of entertainment, I'm going to call it. But when I saw that announcement being made, I'm like, wait a minute, this is happening. They made an announcement, but the Canelo May 4th fight hasn't been announced yet. Like, what's happened is like right around the corner, bro. Like, hurry up. Come on. We got Jake Paul, out marketing you. Canelo Promotions, PBC Promotions. Get with it. And then we got the announcement that Canelo Alvarez, 62-2 with 39 knockouts, will be facing Jaime Munguia, 43-0 with 34 knockouts. He's moving up to 168 to challenge Canelo Alvarez. I'm going to call this the Battle of Mexico. Who is El Rey de Mexico? All right. This is it. This is an all-out Mexican war. For everybody who said that Canelo would never fight a Mexican, which was taken out of context. Man, the media and some of you YouTubers out there and boxing fans, boy, y'all ran with it. Oh, he ain't gonna fight a Mexican. How dare And Canelo, he even said it himself. I'm like, guys, y'all completely went bananas with this and took it out of context. Never said that I would never, ever fight a Mexican fighter. I think it was just taken out of context. I don't know if he did that intentionally because, boy, it caught fire and the press ran with it and went crazy with it. Excuse me. So he's fighting a Mexican. Woo! No, not a Mexican. You mean a Mexicano, like a real paisa? Yeah, he's fighting a Mexican from Tijuana, TJ, Mexico. And Jaime Munguia, who is managed by Golden Boy Promotions. And there was a lot of rumors circulating that this fight was going to happen. So we kind of caught wind of it through, I think it was an ESPN in Mexico, I believe. and they were saying that the fight was still and it was about to be announced, and they were just working out the details. Golden Boy was being hush hush about it. They were diverting the questions, and then it happened. Canelo made the announcement, and it's official, May 4th at Tmobile Arena. Look, my initial thoughts. Of course, we wanted Benavidez. Of course, the boxing fans, as a boxing fan, we wanted Benavidez in May. I think we all knew that wasn't going to happen, especially when we found out that Benavidez was going to be moving up to 175 for the WBC interim title. And Benavidez is doing his thing, and he's going to continue doing his thing, and which I love about Benavidez, because Benavidez is the only champion, and I'm gonna call he's a champ in my eyes, that has not dwelled or put pause on his career for the Canelo sweepstakes. He has been following his path. He's fighting major fights, beating Caleb Plant, beating Bubu Andrade impressively, and now going up to 175. He's on his own path to greatness, and I have a lot of respect for him. Sure, when they ask him about Canelo, he wants the Canelo. He's been calling for the Canelo fight, and that didn't happen. But he's not going to hate on Canelo anymore. He's just going to be like, well, I'm going to go to 175 and catch him there. Or maybe not. I'm going to just dominate, and he has his eyes on the prize on dominating 175. He's a big boy, so I think he's going to do some great things at 175. Anyways, I digress. Canelo and Munguia. Let's talk about Munguia. And then there was a lot of rumors that he was going to fight. He was going to fight Berlanga, which I think if he fought Berlanga, I as a boxing fan, and I like Canelo. I really like the way he's managed his career. I like him. I like his activity. I love how he conducts himself, both on and offline. He seems like a family man, well composed, soft spoken. He speaks respectfully on all fighters in his past. I just like the way he conducts himself. Like he's like a true gentleman, like a true sportsman, So I got respect for Canelo Alvarez. I'm not gonna lie. If it was gonna be Berlanga, I don't know. He would have lost some cool points with me. And I think he knows that. I think he knows that, if he would have fought Berlanga, there would have been some backlash and criticism. And even himself, he knows that that fight really wouldn't, it wouldn't do well. Not right now, and maybe not ever. So he picks Munguia. And I think it makes sense. I think this fight makes sense. Jaime Munguia is a notable name. He is. Hold on one second. Munguia, he's a notable name. He's had a boxing career that's been curated past few years through Golden Boy as he moves up, fought some challenging fights, and obviously he had an impressive knockout against Ryder, and I think that also makes the fight really interesting. There's people that are, hey, well, Canelo couldn't knock him out, and Munguia did. That always makes for an interesting matchup. So there's a story there, and Munguia is the other true Mexican fighter that out of Mexico that is in that weight division, who's been growing his boxing career up to 160, and now moving up to 168, and he's a big boy himself. He's now being trained by Freddie Roach, and he has been looking better and better. I've never been a huge fan of Jaime Munguia, but he's gotten a lot better. He's definitely been managed well, and he's gotten a lot better now with Freddie Roach. He has this opportunity on their second outing to fight and be undisputed. And that's a pretty damn cool opportunity that Jaime Munguia has. And I'm glad that he said yes, and I'm glad they're taking this fight on and a big challenge with Canelo Alvarez. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this fight. Definitely a lot more excited than, I mean, if it was Benavidez, that would have been a whole different level, but we didn't get Benavidez. But now it's Jaime Munguia, and I feel like it's like the second best thing that we can get from Canelo. So we're going to see that happen May 4th, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, simply because I feel like Munguia is, with coming from that Mexican pedigree, Munguia is one of those fighters that I've noticed even in his last fight. He's a volume puncher, and he can mix it up. He's a big guy, and he carries his weight well, and he has pretty good punching power as well, and not afraid to crack and let his hands go. So I feel like there's going to be fireworks early on, and I would love to see this match, where it's going to be interesting to see how Munguia takes on this fight, whether he is overwhelmed. I mean, there's interviews where he's like, "Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor. It's a lot of respect for Canelo." So either that could go for or against you, and it could be something where I respect you, but once we get in the ring, I'm a dog, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, if he's going to really go for it, or against you in the fact that he has too much respect, like a lot of these previous fighters, like we saw in Charlo, where they say they're lions and they're dogs, and they get overwhelmed by the moment and get overwhelmed by the fact that it is Canelo Alvarez in front of them, and then they just kind of fold and they just take it until it's done. It's going to be interesting to see what type of, if we're going to see that Mexican grit, which I believe we are in Jaime Munguia. I think it's going to take him a few rounds. It'll be interesting. There's part of me that thinks that he's going to come out blazing. He's going to try to come out and make a statement. I think he should. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But he's going to be very cautious, because Canelo is very, very sneaky. And I think that Canelo's going to posture him and figure out where the tricks are at. But I don't know. I think when I think about the fight and see where they're at in their career, and again, I'll do a full prediction video, but I'm pretty sure I'll repeat it again. But let me jump in and make my early, prediction, and share a little bit of what I think is going to happen. I feel like, just in general, Canelo's still above and beyond levels over Munguia. Munguia is good, right? Definitely above average. Has some good boxing abilities to make it interesting and make it challenging for Canelo. I think using the jab, which I haven't seen really Munguia do too much of, would be key. But because of his height and his reach, I think that would be something that would be different. And I'm pretty sure Freddie Roach will instruct him to use the jab a lot more against Canelo. But I do feel like Canelo Alvarez has too many tricks in his bag. I think he's just comfortable at 168. I mean, except it's Benavidez, but I feel like he's still like the top dog. I don't think there's nobody at 168 who can frankly beat him. It would have to be somebody at 175, like we saw against Bivol or Better Beef, or a bigger competition. Bivol, because he was big, but he also has some boxing skills. But I just don't see Munguia with the boxing IQ to beat a Canelo Alvarez at the stage. I don't think Canelo is washed over. And I think this fight at this point, and I think this fight will motivate him even more, because it's like who's the king of Mexico? And I think that's a statement that he's going to want to make, because, and I also feel like, because Munguia is part of the Golden Boy camp, and we all know his history with Oscar De La Hoya, I think there's another chip on his shoulder that's going to motivate him even more to be like, yeah, boy, I'm gonna get your boy. I'm gonna show you, like, you talked all that ish about me, and here is your Mexican star. And I was pretty much the Mexican star right after Canelo left, right? And I feel like there's going to be a little bit of that going on with Canelo Alvarez, where he's going to be like, all right, I'm going to take out one of your main guys out of your staple. So I think there's going to be a couple statements that he's going to want to make that's going to it's going to motivate him to really performing at a higher level. And I feel like we're going to see a whole different level of Canelo Alvarez. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens, with this one. So, my early prediction is I do see Canelo winning. We could easily see a 12 round unanimous decision or a late stoppage by Canelo. I would say even like in the 10th round. I just think it's going to be too much. I feel like with Canelo's power, I think once Jaime Munguia gets a taste of that, I think it's going to be different. I think Jaime Munguia, it's going to be interesting to see how he takes it and what adjustments he makes. And we know he's a nitty-gritty fighter. I just don't see him being smart enough to be able to make the adjustments needed to beat a Canelo. But Canelo has a lot of tricks, and I feel like that power is going to test him. And he's in a field at 168. Even though Jaime Munguia is a big boy, I just don't see him beating Canelo. However, I will say that if we see a Jaime Munguia that's highly motivated, that just doesn't give Canelo respect and throws high volume, we know that Canelo, when a fighter punch like Bivol, there was nice, 1-2 right hook, and it was just a good combination. I think if we see some good combinations and some good volume punching, and if Jaime Munguia lets his hands go, I think we could see something really interesting in this fight that could happen. And impose some challenges for Canelo. I do see that we can possibly see that. So I'm excited to see if Munguia has what it takes to take his boxing career to the next level. Is he game? This is his moment. This is his time to shine. Is he ready to take it to the next level? Because a lot of people that have been seeing him from afar and been watching his career, we've always been like, he's okay. He's not great, flat-footed. He's very, very kind of standard, very vanilla, doesn't really have much. Some good boxing ability, good, Mexican chin, tough chin, good punching power, pressure. Yeah, he has those, but does he really have what it takes to fight the next level? We all wanted to see him against Charlo, and that never happened. So now he's going to fight the man, Canelo, and I think that's going to be interesting to see what he could do against the elite fighter like Canelo Alvarez. And then Canelo is going to be interesting to see how serious he takes this fight. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder and do well, but the fight is 9 weeks away. I don't think it's right around the corner. So Canelo's been training. That's one thing about Canelo. He trains, he takes good care of himself. And I feel like he will be ready to go, but we'll see what it looks like. We'll see how he performs on May 4th, but I'm excited for the fight. I think this is going to be an all Mexican war. And we didn't get Benavidez, but we got Munguia, and I think it's a much better fight than Berlanga and any other fight that was out there for Canelo, which I think it was just pretty much Munguia and Berlanga and Benavidez. I don't think there's pretty much anything out there that the fans or the boxing world were interested in. So, yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section. What do you think? What are your initial thoughts about the Canelo Munguia fight? What do you think? Who's going to win the fight and why? Leave it in the comment section down below. It's been great jabbing with all of you today. And thanks again for all your love and support. And we'll catch you on the next video. Peace and one love, y'all.